How to make a Stuart triple expansion engine run. Part 5. Carefully repairing the loose drop arm by using a taper reamer and fitting a corresponding taper pin into the hole. This is a delicate operation, and I first fixed the drop arm in place on the shaft using some Loctite 603. Once the taper pin is fitted into the tapered hole, this will be a secure and permanent fix. Also in this episode, I show the modification of the reverser screw. All of the drop arms are held in place using roll pins, which are no good for the job at all. And in no time at all, this roll pin is in the bin, leaving a nice neat hole where once it was. Here's a close-up of the roll pin, and as you can see, it's a hollow tube with a slit down one side. The idea being that they're made from spring steel, so the springiness of the roll pin holds it in position. But sometimes they don't work at all. They're okay for certain applications. This is what you need to do on an application like this. Fit a taper pin. But I don't mean bang the taper pin into the parallel hole. You have to ream the hole to match the pin. A tapered pin in a tapered hole gives a really secure fix. Examples of this are Morse taper number 2, 3 or 4 or whatever you use on machine tools. Once the tapered part is tapped into the tapered hole, it's a very secure joint. This is very important. The taper pin that you use has to match the reamed hole. It's no good using a taper pin that falls through the hole. In this clip, I'm showing the taper reamer that I'm going to use. This is a very small taper reamer, so I'm going to be extra careful with it because I don't want to snap it off in the hole. I have a small box full of reamers, all different sizes for different size pins. The taper reamer that I'm using for this job is just slightly too big, and before starting the reaming operation for real, I place a taper pin in the hole in the drop arm and make sure it's lined up with the shaft. I apply some Loctite 603 and lock the shaft in place. Then I immediately remove the taper pin because I don't want this locking in place as well. Sit back and take your medication, it's top tip time. What I'm doing here is applying a little bit of heat, just gentle heat, to the Loctited joint. It speeds up the curing of the Loctite. Not really recommended, but it works and makes the job a little bit quicker. The hole in the shaft and the hole in the drop arm are perfectly aligned. All I need to do now is ream the hole all the way through using this very small and very fragile taper reamer. This took quite a while. Don't apply too much pressure. Just take your time, frequently withdraw the reamer to remove any chippings, and take great care not to snap the reamer off in the hole. This is a fairly important and critical part of the operation. I've shortened this sequence because it really did take far too long. This clip shows the taper pin in place in the hole in the drop arm and the shaft. I've cut the pin to the correct length and it's just gently placed in position to check the length. I want to leave a little bit sticking out of it, just in case it ever needs replacing with a larger taper pin. This should make the job of removing the pin slightly simpler. The next part of the job involves cleaning the area to get rid of any Loctite 603 and any bits of swarf from the reamer. I had to cut the taper pin to the correct length, and then I cleaned up the ends on the grinder. I placed it into the hole and tapped it gently with a hammer. I emphasize the word gently. There is no place for any clumsiness in this part of the operation. If the hammer misses the taper pin, it's going to hit something else, possibly more important. Thinking about it though, possibly the most important part in this area is the taper pin. Not only is the drop arm held to the shaft with Loctite 603, it also has a taper pin through it. The next part of the job would be really nerve-wracking, but as my friend Andrew from Model Engineering Adventures says he'll make me a new part should I need it, I'm not so nervous. I've fitted the reversing screw into the chuck and I'm holding it by the threads very gently. I'm removing this collar on the main shaft. What I need to do is extend the length of travel so that the drop arm connected to this screw thread can move further along the shaft. I'm doing this to find out how far the die nut needs to travel on the thread. I estimate that if I take off about this much, it should be okay. I've fitted a parting tool in the chuck, and this parting tool is miles too long, so it does chatter a little bit. But if I make it any shorter, the tool post will get in the way of the camera. Because the shaft is only held by the thread and it's sticking out a long way, I really am being very careful to get the speeds and feeds right so I don't stress out the part. I phoned the owner of the engine to ask him why the hand wheel had been fastened permanently to the shaft, and he said he got a jeweller to silver solder it, and he also blued it at the same time, so it looks pretty good. If this slight modification is not a success and Andrew has to make me a new part, I'm going to have to drill a hole in the centre of the hand wheel, thread the hole and fit a lock nut. The turning job was successful. The final thing I'm going to do, because I can't live with this any longer, is straighten out the arm that operates the air pump. It was quite badly bent. And I can hear the experts say, "Oh no, not the adjustable spanner again." Yes, the Barco adjustable spanner. A Barco adjustable spanner is a very accurate piece of workshop equipment. And without marking the soft gunmetal arm, straightening it was a success. On the market there are other brands of adjustable spanners that are good, but generally speaking I prefer Barco. I even have a large one fastened to the wall in my workshop as an ornament. And that is it for now. I would like to say, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.